Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And it's episode 100.
100!
I want to talk about this fucking Keaton Jones kid. You know who I'm talking about?
Nope.
Keaton Jones is a little boy whose mother filmed him with her phone for Facebook, crying about being bullied.
You know, I was actually going to watch that. It's in my saved list for Facebook, but I haven't watched it.
You don't have to. I'll just tell you the rundown.
Okay, good.
Keaton Jones is a typical boy. He's a middle school student from the Knoxville, Tennessee area. The only problem, he gets bullied. A lot. Things have been so bad that he often has to ask his mother to pick him up from school. I'm guessing so he doesn't have to ride the bus. This past Friday, as in this was probably like almost 2 weeks ago now, Keaton had another bad day of bullying, so he and his mother made the video. Here's the kid talking. Why do they bully? He asked at the start of the clip. They make fun of my nose. They call me ugly. They say I have no friends. And despite his distress, he tries to offer some words of encouragement and strength for others who are suffering from similar treatment. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it because it's not their fault. If you're made fun of, just don't let it bother you, he says, tears streaming down his face. Stay strong, I guess. It's hard, but it'll probably get better one day.
Why does this seem staged?
I don't know. I've got some thoughts for this. All right. People make fun of his nose. I don't know if he had a cleft palate repaired. There's something with this kid's nose where it's a little flat. The point of the fact that they're teasing him for his physical appearance is it's low-hanging fruit. Come on. If you're going to make fun of somebody, pick out some shit that really cuts deep, not the simplistic, oh, I'm making fun of the way you look. Or just don't be an asshole would be the bigger overarching theme
don't
there.
Be an asshole.
Right? And, you know, this kid got all kinds of support. He got support from LeBron James. He got support from Dana White of the UFC, and they invited him to the UFC's training facility in Las Vegas. He got support from Tennessee Titans football player Delaney Walker. And they invited the kid and his family to a football game. His notoriety isn't limited to the sports world, however. A rapper by the name of Cardi B, she's fucking terrible. I'll just tell you that much. I think she's fucking terrible.
Okay.
Joined in on the support in her own particular fashion. And here's how I'm quoting her. Whoever goes up to this boy, she commands, if you pick on him, you're not even a bully. You a straight-up, pussy-ass, punk-ass bitch. Like how you pick on someone who can't defend themselves? That's not gangsta.
Yo, bitch, you think you bad just 'cause you're mine don't mean I can't put a cap in your ass, bitch, man?
Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Shut the fuck up, Cardi B. Your current radio single is absolutely terrible.
That just seems a little bit to me ironic. The way she's talking and saying, don't bully, you little pussy.
Straight up pussy ass punk ass bitch. Come on. You could have said straight up pussy ass punk bitch. The fact that you said ass twice in one statement's redundant and fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying to Keaton Jones, you don't deserve this. Be strong. I would emphasize the be strong. But here's where I'm going to diverge away from all that sunshiny bullshit that they are shooting up his ass right now.
I felt there was a but coming in this story.
Yes, it's a big but. I'm going to read this quote from Keaton again. Stay strong, I guess. It's hard, but it will probably get better one day. Now, before I blast this kid into reality, it says so in the story that I got this from, and it's a good thought. He told his parents, he told his teachers, he didn't internalize it, he didn't keep it a secret. He's not one of these statistics where he keeps it well guarded, suffers in silence, and kills himself.
Yeah.
Because there's way too much of that shit, and we both have kids, and as far as I know, all my kids get along great at school. I mean, my stepdaughter had some girl that used to give her a hard time, but that bitch moved to Texas, so have fun.
A couple of my kids claim there's bullying going on, but when I talk to the school and they've investigated incidents, it's 50-50.
Right. So I'm going to say right now, do not keep it a secret. Tell somebody, because the support that you get will lessen the pain that you feel from being taunted constantly. This shit happened to me as a kid. constantly because my sister was mentally handicapped. And everything was your retard sister this and your retard sister that. And just, I went to a smaller private Catholic school, so it was always the same faces repeatedly. I had a very negative rapport with a few individuals. And they're fucking lucky, because one or two of them, I didn't just want to punch. One of them, I almost picked up a chair and laid it across his fucking back, like that scene in the movie Moonlight. You probably haven't seen it.
No.
Watch Moonlight. It's a great film.
Okay.
And in that movie, the kid getting picked on walks into class, picks up a chair, slams a wooden chair across the back of the kid that's been bullying him. The chair explodes and the kid goes down unconscious. He goes off to juvie for years.
The kid that hit with the chair?
The kid that hit the other one with the chair goes off to juvie for years.
Eef.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a happy ending.
Hard lessons. Anyway, so Keaton and kids that get bullied, here's Jmann's advice. It never gets easier. You just get numb to it.
Yeah.
And if you hear in my voice that I'm a little emotional, I'm just telling you, if you think school is hard, wait until you're a grown-up, because life fucks with you every which way that it can. Even if you're an awesome person who does all the right things, you will get fucked with incessantly. So like he says, stay strong, but do not assume that it will probably ever get better. It may. I don't want to give you false hope, because I'm more of a pessimist, more of a realist. I believe in pragmatism over just blind optimism. And I'm going to add this to it. When I say things never get better, it's just that your bullshit tolerance grows. Your skin thickens up. You get used to it. And sadly, and this is a key factor in emotional abuse, all of that pain and suffering becomes your new normal.
That is an extremely pessimistic way to look at it.
Yes, it is, but it's the fucking cold truth.
I think, depending on the situation, it does get better. I wasn't teased a lot when I was in school. I only had one real nemesis, and even then, after one fist fight, we were just kind of, you stay over there, I'll stay over here kind of thing.
Yeah, I got in tons of fights as a kid.
But I think as you get older, the ways to make it better, on top of being strong and all that, is you can kind of pick and choose what you do and where you go. Like any drama in my life that I had, or sadness from whatever, kind of ended when I graduated high school. Didn't have to see those people anymore.
Right.
And in all the places I've worked, I've actually gotten along very well with all my coworkers. Everywhere.
Whereas I try to get along with as many people as I can, but I'm not going to pad my comments. I'm going to let people know what I think. I'm not always going to be popular, but I'm not just going to be like, you're a fucking asshole. Fuck you.
Well, you've never really been like that. But yeah, your personality, I could see some people not being a fan of that or agreeing with it or anything like that. But shit, that's one of the things I love about you.
Well, and people tell me that. They're like, you're an asshole, but to the point where it's a positive because you say what you think, you mean what you say. What you really feel is what you're putting out there. I don't try to go out there to be a tough guy. I don't need to do that, but I'm also not afraid to scream at anybody at any fucking time or say anything that I really feel, no matter how deep it's going to cut somebody.
Basically just telling the truth.
Yeah, and everybody loves the truth until you're telling the truth about them to their face.
I've always enjoyed it, even if it makes me hurt.
There's too many people that sugarcoat what they say because they're worried about feelings and conflict and the way you persevere, and that's what you become, is someone who can persevere over all that negativity. When I say it becomes the new normal, you're surviving it. You're persevering. You're going on through all of this, and it might not be the most enjoyable existence, but it's still an existence. And by just soldiering on through all that shit, you're showing them that they can't break you down completely. You might cry about it as a kid, and they're going to go, oh, I made him cry. They might beat you up and think that they're tougher than you. And I'm not saying go slam a chair across somebody's back or start a fight, but the best thing you can do is have a snappy comeback or a witty retort to somebody that consistently tries to fuck with you.
That's what I was trying to teach Bubba. But take away the power that the bully has. Like, you react to the bully in a negative way. you're giving him the power to keep doing it. I said, you need to take that away. And he said, one couple of kids were calling him a blockhead. So I said, just take that away from him. Just use it. And so he got the idea he made a little paper hat thing that says King Blockhead.
Oh.
And he worked at school, and his associate principal saw it and pulled him aside. He's like, hey, I thought you said you were having trouble with kids calling you that. And he's like, well, I was, but... And I was just like, screw it, I'm going to run with it.
Own it.
And the principal's
Good job, kid.
No. I'm not going to let you wear that around the school.
No.
And and he told me this. The principal told me this. I was like, you see, I was telling him to take away that power, own it, use it against them, just like, yeah, whatever. Because if they're not getting a negative reaction, they're just going to stop.
Right.
Because they're like, what else do I got to do? They're going to try something new, yeah. And he's just like, yeah, but we can't really do that, because then it might get out of control and all that. I was like, what in the fuck is going on in these schools nowadays? You can't let a kid work around the bully system by just taking away the power the bullies have.
You're right. We should let him continue to be a victim while you guys sit on your hands with all your administrative red tape and go, well, we'll talk to the parents and we'll see what we can do. And then you keep making it worse by being a pussy and teetotaling around the real issue. Now, if I was in his position, I would have said, yeah, you want to know why I'm a blockhead? Think of how fucking big my brain is, dude. You, when you shake your head, it sounds like a BB in a canteen. Clearly, if you were as smart as I was, you would have figured that shit out. That's why my head's like this.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, just
they might have thought it was
around.
Stupid, but still, you've got
that.
that.
Yeah, whatever, blockhead. It's like, if that's the best you got, clearly your intelligence is low.
Right. I basically would have looked at him and be like, dude, if that's the best thing you got, Jesus Christ, I'm not even going to waste my time looking at you anymore. Fuck right off and die.
Yeah, but the principal wouldn't let him do it, and I'm just like...
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. The way schools are run now because they're afraid of feelings.
Society's
that's why
afraid
bullying
of
is
feelings.
happening. Because the bullies, nothing can get done to them. You can't drag a bully through the hallway by his arm, kicking and screaming, because that's abusive. That's mean to the child. Well, what do you think that little asshole was doing to deserve that in the first place?
Yeah. Well,
I think the greatest thing my teachers did was drag my ass out of a room when I was being an asshole in class.
Nobody ever physically dragged me anywhere. I was sent to the principal's office quite a bit for fighting and such, and striking back at my bullies and all that crap. But really, once I stopped reacting to it is I stopped having problems with it.
3 or 4 times I had a teacher drag me out of the classroom. And once it was by my pinky.
Oh.
She went for my wrist, but I pulled.
Oh.
And she grabbed my pinky, and that was good enough for her, and dragged me out of the classroom.
Yeah.
And I never was just like, you're not supposed to do that. I was just like, oh man, I fucked up. Just like, that's all I thought. I don't know how many detentions I got when I was in grade school. They don't even do that anymore.
No. They won't touch them. But,
no, can't put them in there. That's not really productive for their thinking process. Really? Because sitting in a little cubicle, no bigger than a chair, for a half hour after school gave me plenty of time to go, that was not a good idea. And usually I wasn't like a repeat offender. So every time I got thrown in detention, it was for something new.
Nice. Got to diversify.
Well, I can't do that. Can I do this? No,
Right.
Can't do that either.
It's the only way you can learn is through trial and error.
That's how I learned.
Well, but with this Keaton Jones kid, I mean, you could send him to all the football, basketball, baseball, sports games, send him to the UFC training center, and Dana White says hopefully he picks up a few moves. Well, he can't fight the bullies because he'll get fucking expelled, so that was an idiotic thing to say. But really, what are you accomplishing by being nice to this kid in such extravagant ways? Instead of giving him all these presents for being a victim, which I know it sounds weird that I'm saying, don't give presents to a victim. They're sympathy gifts. You're pitying him and you're making it worse, and he won't understand that until he's an adult probably. But you could impart to him wisdom. Here's what I did. Here's what you can do. Here's what you can say. Not, here's some fucking football tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, support him and say, hey, you don't deserve that shit. But a little bit of advice goes a lot longer in the ways of teaching than just gifts.
Well, and that's what I was trying to teach Bubba, Yeah, because I think what it would do is reinforce with this kid is that being a victim is a good thing, and I can get stuff.
Yeah.
Playing a victim.
Well, Yeah, episode 100 is going to be a short, sweet one. Really, but I wanted to talk about this kid. I feel bad for the kid, I do. I've been there. People talk all kinds of shit, but you really can't let it get to you. And unfortunately, you can't fight anymore, because that's how you used to be able to deal with your bully, was to prove you weren't a pussy and you weren't going to take that shit. Now it's a war of words.
Well, you can fight them, but you both get suspended.
Only if you get caught. That's why you do it in the bathroom. You say, meet me in the fucking bathroom right now and see how much of a little bitch I am. See what happens when you talk that shit to my face when there's not all these witnesses around to get your back. Gotta be smart about it.
Well, Bubba is the one that got his ass kicked at the park last summer, so...
Well, he kind of had that one coming.
He had that one coming. He deserved it.
Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.
The smoke to clear.